Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. But for our radio audience here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, we're glad that you all could be with us. Also, joining us are our friends at Blog Talk Radio, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. We're glad you all could be with us as well. Well, we are hitting a new milestone here on Conversations Live. It's been a busy year for us, bringing you guys some great guests, both from our radio audience here in my home state of Mississippi, but also our online audience along the world. And we're excited to welcome today our 800th guest of 2021, and I'm so excited to have it being someone I've not only had on the program before, but also someone I'm glad to call a friend as well. Actor Philip K. Boyd is joining us today to talk to us about the year that's been 2021 for him, what it's been like for him to do the work that he's been able to do, and of course, maybe he may share a little bit about what we can look forward to him moving forward as we're going into the new year. Philip, thank you so much again for being on with us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, Cyrus. Wow, 800 guests. That's pretty amazing, man.
Well, man, it's been a wild year, but you have had a wild year as well. So I want to talk to you about that. I mean, we've been able to see you in new projects, of course. I know you have other things that you're working on. What has this year been like for you, Philip, to continue to see all the hard work you put out there paying off for you?
It's been a crazy ride, especially with all the COVID protocols going on with the movie sets and everything that I've been fortunate to be a part of. It's been pretty crazy. I decided that I was going to try to maybe have a home base in Atlanta, and so I started like moving some stuff back here in Atlanta in January of earlier this year, right? And then I got booked on a couple of movies back in Los Angeles, so I had to stay out there. But I had shipped everything back, so I was sleeping on an air mattress for a little while. I mean, the life of an actor, right?
Right.
And so, it's just been crazy. Then I went back to Atlanta again, then I got booked on something in San Diego and something in Las Vegas and then in Los Angeles. And so I finally made my way back to Atlanta. I did a small little part in a movie with Dennis Quaid here recently. And I was actually in Hattiesburg, Mississippi recently.
Oh, wow.
Have you ever been to Hattiesburg?
Oh, yeah, man. That's only an hour away from me, man. That's only an hour.
Oh, wow. I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah.
I was there for about 3 or 4 days.
Wow.
4 days.
Amazing. Well, Philip,
yeah.
I mean, I should mention, I did not say it in my introduction, but, I mean, a lot of us, including myself, I have to say, got to know you because of a little show that was airing on the Oprah Winfrey Network called The Haves and the Have-Nots. That's how a lot of us got to know you, bringing to life the character Oscar. But so much has happened for you. I mean, since then, so many great television shows you've been a part of, movies we've been able to see you on, especially on Lifetime. Are you still having those wow moments when you kind of think about the past 5 years?
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping to always move forward and get on something else so I can reinvent myself and do something different. But, I mean, I'll tell you what, the haves and the have-nots was such a blessing for my career, and I cannot thank Tyler Perry enough for bringing me aboard and letting me be a part of his family for those years and letting me be a part of the Oprah Winfrey Network family for all those years. And, I continue to, feel just blessed and pinch myself sometimes when I'm doing these roles or on a movie set. I'm like, wow, this is how I get to make a living. That's amazing.
Yeah. So take us back then, Philip, for those who have not caught our several interviews that we've done before, both in person and on the radio. Talk to us about the acting journey for you. I mean, what made you say that was what you wanted to do?
Oh, geez. I'm kind of reliving that now. I just moved back to Atlanta, and this is kind of where it all started, right? So this is where I kind of felt like I didn't sort of belong in this sort of and I grew up in a small town. So for me, I always felt drawn to do something bigger than what the small town was. And so I felt this pull or this energy pull to get out of that small town and do something bigger. And it's weird because now it doesn't have the same stigma as it did maybe back then because we have the means to reach, people through social media and stuff like that, which we did not have way back when I first started out. So the journey for me has been quite interesting, because when I first moved to LA to be an actor, there was no such thing as social media. And now I believe that it's like kind of come to the forefront of networking and marketing yourself, no matter what type of business you're in now.
Right.
So
Exactly.
it's been quite the journey. But you know, going to LA and like trying to, you know, make it as an actor out there, and then obviously getting the role in the haves and the have-nots, and coming back to Atlanta to shoot that was bittersweet as well. And you know, since then I've been able to do, like you said, like a lot of Lifetime movies. I got to be a recurring character on General Hospital, and I'm still, you know, hustling, man, trying to make the best of it.
Right. And along this way, Philip, the thing about you, I mean, you are the same guy that I met in my very first trip. I mean, I literally had my first face-to-face interview with you the very first time I visited Los Angeles to tape segments for the TV show here in Mississippi. And, I mean, you are exactly the same person, always gracious, always humble in your approach to your career and your success. Do you think that is because of the journey that you've been on? I know you talked about also, you know, with me the very first time we talked about your brother and the impact that he had on you. Do you think it's because of your why that you have kind of stayed that same person?
I do. I have never listen, before anything else, I'm a human being. And being a human being, I can relate to a lot of people in the world, and, you know, try my best to be a source of, you know, goodness and a source of maybe inspiration to some people that are looking for that. That's one of the main reasons why I want to go to Los Angeles, to use acting as a platform to create another sort of, I guess, avenue to be an inspiration in the world, and that of good, to try to, you know, relate to people on I guess a level of love, and also know that, like, I'm not better than anyone else in this world. And I look at myself as a human being first, above anything else, and I say, okay, we all have pain, we all, you know, suffer, we all go through, you know, downs, ups, and, you know, lefts and rights, and all these other things that we experience in this thing called life. And, you know, for me, seeing, like you said, my brother who did pass away a couple of years ago, it really just shows you how precious life is, and that's something that I try to, you know, live with every day and, you know, carry with me.
Yeah. And it's definitely appreciated by your fans. I want to get into that aspect of it. I want to say, for those who are just tuning in, either on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. Conversations Live is celebrating its 800th guest of 2021, first for us in the past 6 years. And this was 2015, the last time we had this amount of guests on the program in 1 year. And I'm so excited that this year's guest is my friend, actor Philip Boyd. We're talking to him not only about the year he's having this year, we're going to talk to him about some of the projects you guys have already seen him in, but also a little bit about what's to come as well. I want to talk about fans for a second, Philip, because you are very engaged with your fans, especially you mentioned, of course, when this all began for you, social media was not a thing. Now it is everything in many respects. What has that been like for you to see the way that fans have not only gravitated to you, but followed you from project to project?
That's been interesting. I mean, it's been really humbling, and also I just cannot believe that the amount of people that, you know, would tune in to an Instagram post and like it and comment on it. And I do welcome the comments. I you know, every time I get a comment or somebody that says I did a good job, or somebody says that, oh, I'm be watching, I just feel so grateful to have those people in my life. I know this from afar. I know it's from a social media standpoint, but I tell you what, it's something that they say if you build it, they will come. You know, you do it, you put it out there, and somebody's going to, like, either enjoy it or not enjoy it. And listen, if you don't enjoy it, that's cool too. Like, I just hope that you find some sort of entertainment value in what I'm putting out there.
The unique thing about you too, Philip, is that you're able to slip into different types of skin. I mentioned how many people got to know you, at least in my sphere, and that is through one show where you brought to life one type of character, even though he was a layered character for sure. Then you have, you know, one of those recent projects was Deadly Due Date, another type of character where you actually get to be a real good guy, you know, not just play
Deadly Due Date. But see, before that, I did a movie called Wheels of Beauty, and that was where I played a ex NASCAR driver who suffered from a brain injury, and because he couldn't drive anymore, he became a teacher, a race car teacher, and he developed a crush on a girl, and he went crazy and killed a couple people, and I've got all these messages from people going, "Can you ever play a good guy?"
Right.
And Deadly Due Date, I did get to play a good guy, so that was good.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you about that. What is that like for you? Because I'm sure it is. I mean, we all talk about mind trips, but it has to be a literally mind trigger for you to kind of get into the heads of this character you're bringing to life. Is that kind of part of the fun for you in this journey, that you get to be something that is so different than who you are?
Yes, because I hold all that anger inside. I let it out when I do the acting. No, it is fun, because that's the thing, is that I would never in my wildest dreams walk around my life in a normal life ever treat somebody like I treat some of these people in these movies, or talk to them, say the things that I do. And so it's actually quite fun, because I get to step out of me and be mean, and I don't like being mean. So I find out sometimes when I'm doing these movies and I have to be mean to somebody or I have to do something really horrible, I don't like confrontation in my real life. I start laughing. I get a nervous thing where I start I just can't do it. So some of these takes I'll start laughing, and they're like, "How are you laughing right now? Are you a psychopath?" And I'm like, "No, I just get really uncomfortable." so that's me.
Well, I have to say, you began this conversation by bringing up that what really has been the elephant in the room in many respects, and that is you've been able to do all of this while we're still dealing with a worldwide pandemic. So, what kind of helped you through this time? I mean, we know that there has been. I mean, your industry has had a lot of challenges, of course, and as you said, navigating what is a new normal now. What kind of helped you to kind of get through this past 18, 19 months?
Well, I'll be completely honest with you. So I've been around 5 people that I know of that have had coronavirus. And each time I have been tested with a negative coronavirus test and a negative antibody test. And I've been tested over 300 times over the last 18, 19 months.
Wow.
And not once have I ever had any antibodies. So I think that there are some people out there, despite what, the news says or whatever, I believe there are some people out there that are just immune to coronavirus, just like some people are immune to the flu. And they don't report on that, and that's really unfortunate, but I'm not worried about it, because like I said, I've been tested over 300 times. I've never had it, never had any antibodies. So, I don't worry about it. But I do care that other people have experienced it, and I comply. I wear the mask. I get the vaccination. I, do everything to try to be the most, conscious of what's going on out there.
Right.
But I do believe there are some people that just don't get it, and that's just my belief, and that's just my reality.
Yeah, and look, I appreciate that, Philip. I really do. I think it is. I'm not going into that conversation for people who
I know, right?
Or so. But I mean, I'm glad you said that, because of one important thing. I think the fact that we still are living our lives. And even though, some people have suffered adversely, with it, and some even lost their lives, one thing we don't want to do is be paralyzed. And I love the fact that you've been able to keep moving forward, because that's what I've been able to do. I have unfortunately lost friends. I lost one family member, but like I told my family, we have to, you take the precautions you need to take, but you still, you have a life that you're meant to live. So I want to talk to you about life. Actually, it's a great segue, because I think one thing, Philip, I've always thought about you from the first time I met you, and I don't know why this resonated with me the first time we met, and then I've watched you, and even as we've talked, you seem to have such an appreciation for life. Where do you think that comes from?
To be honest with you, I think that it comes from when I was a small child. My grandfather passed away, and I got to see him in his casket at the time, and just as a young child, seeing life one day and then stiffness the next day. It just shows you how fragile life is, and we spend every day after that knowing that is where eventually we all, no matter what it is that happens in our life, we all are going to die at some point. So while I'm here on Earth, while I'm living and breathing, I am going to be a source of light in this world, and I'm not going to try to do anything to hurt anybody's feelings or jeopardize making somebody feel horrible or anything like that, because we do that enough in our own mind. We suffer enough. A lot of people that I know that are suffering with some sort of addiction or some sort of depression. That the mind is a horrible thing, and I hope that through storytelling or something that I've been able to do in my public life, I want to be a source of good. I want somebody to see me and see a source of inspiration rather than a source of depression, because there's a lot of stuff out there that makes us depressed and that affects us in a negative way. And, even though I play some bad characters on television sometimes, I hope that it's a source of entertainment and, like I said, a source of inspiration for people to go out there and chase their dreams and to never give up.
Well, I'm going to ask you the question that... I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I just said I have a tattoo on my arm, and it's in Latin, and it says, while there's life, there's hope. And I'll always go by that. As long as you're alive, there's always hope that you can get out of your situation.
Love that. I was just going to say, Philip, there, for anyone who follows you on Instagram, don't ask you this very important, I think, intense question. I will probably get questions as to why I didn't ask you. Waffle House. Talk to us about your love of Waffle House and how that kind of came about.
Okay, so here's the thing, all right, everybody out there listening, I love the Waffle House. So I used to, I grew up in a small town, and I used to work at a little cafe, restaurant, whatever, and afterwards I would go there, and I would always eat there, like, later, because I didn't get to eat during my shift, and I never would eat waffles. Like, I grew up, I loved cheeseburgers, so whenever I go to the Waffle House, I get, like, a cheeseburger and the hash browns. And here's something. I love diners. Like, I love small-town diners. And Waffle House is the only place that I can go to where I feel like it's still a small-town diner where people say your name and, like, say hello and, say, can I get you some more sweet tea or whatever it is. It's just a nice, friendly atmosphere when I go there. And you get to sit there on the counter and eat your food. And it's just, I guess, more of a, I don't know, just a walk down memory lane for me every time I go there. Yeah.
No, I appreciate that. It was funny when I only told a few people who the 800th guest was going to be, and that was one of the things I was asking. Are you going to ask him about Waffle House? I was like, you know what? I had not planned on it, but I will ask about Waffle House,
Yeah, I love the Waffle House, man. Every time I go in there, either, like, a lot of people that work at the Waffle House are fans of the haves and have-nots, too. So every time I go in the Waffle House, somebody's like, hey, do I know you? And I'm like, do you ever watch the haves and the have-nots? And they're like, oh, my God! And so we end up taking pictures and stuff. And it's really I think it's more, they brighten up my day just as much as I brighten up their day.
Yeah. What a great thing. Well, you brighten up a lot of people's day, including ours here at Conversations Live, Philip. First of all, thank you for saying yes to today's conversation, and we're so glad that we could have you as our 800th guest of 2021, and I'm so excited for you, man, and all the great things. We were talking about the different roles. You guys can look forward to him playing another role in law enforcement coming up pretty soon, I've read, for another project, so that's going to be fun to be able to look out for. With that being said, though, Philip, how can our audience stay connected with you and what's coming up?
Okay, so yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at Philip K. Boyd, and there's a couple of things that I've done that are coming out. One is going to be coming out on November the 12th, and you can order it on bloodbathtv.net. And I play Officer Barry Sloan, and he's a real piece of work. And then I've got another movie. I think I've got another movie coming out on Lifetime. I don't know the exact date on that, so you have to look at your local listings.
Okay.
But let me find the name of this, because the movie poster just got released the other day.
Oh, wow.
And I changed the they changed the movie name from My Escort Best Friend to Friends in Deadly Places.
Wow.
So Friends in Deadly Places stars Renee Ashton, Nicolette Langley, James Hyde, Rachel Purser, and myself is in it, and that's going to be a Lifetime movie coming out. There's another movie that I'm in called The Mulligan that should be coming out, and I just finished in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, the movie Mind Reader. And
wow.
You can find all this out on IMDb as well. So,
exactly. Well, Philip, man, this is awesome, man. A lot of great things coming up, and you definitely deserve it, man. Thank you so much again for the time, and thank you for all that you're doing for your fans. I mean, taking us along for the ride. We appreciate that, and looking forward to our next conversation together, man.
Me too. Thank you so much for always keeping me involved with your show, man. I really appreciate it.
Hey, it's my pleasure for sure. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live here at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com here in Mississippi, as well as our online audience at Blog Talk Radio, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music Podcast. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.